Well, continuing our talk with Colin Kniveton about the future of the Manx Grand Prix. £1 million government puts in. Well, how much are you going to put in future? I mean, presumably they're going to have to cut the cloth to fit your budgets in future.
I think we need to look very carefully what is value for money. I wouldn't rule out that if we were able to persuade the Treasury that there was a viable return, there could be more money invested in it.
You said it's not making a return at the minute.
It's not making a return at the minute. And
so what level is that return equitable to you putting in some money?
Well, it would depend upon the format of the event going forward. And the, one could be that you reduce the whole thing and try and run it on purely financial lines.
Is that possible?
It's not what we want to do, and I don't think that's been the purpose of the exercise. What we want to do is perhaps use the existing budget in a slightly different way to see if we can major upon what is the research outcomes. It's an issue of, do we produce more money to fund the existing product? And in fact, what we're finding from the research is that the product itself needs changing before it can be marketed.
I put it to you, you've got to sex it up a bit and make it television worthy. I mean, this is where the money is, isn't it? This is what the TT, you keep referring to how that's been the sort of leading factor to make the TT so global these days. So, you know, back to my thing, you're going to have to sex it up a bit.
Well, I think the spiral can go upwards or downwards. Once people become attracted to the event, sponsors start to take an interest in it. When you have sponsors, there is...
So you do want to sex it up a bit. How are you going to do that then?
But one of the factors that has come out of the research, and again, I think what we want to be very clear about is that this isn't the department leading this debate. We want to be led by what it is the market is telling us people want. The market is saying to us, in some ways, I think what you're saying is, do we need more star names? And the answer, I think, to that is yes. And it's been demonstrated over the last couple of years in the Manx Grand Prix when people like Michael Dunlop have entered. That has been a source of media attention. With that comes sponsorship, with that comes revenue, the ability to sell grandstand tickets, to start looking at hospitality opportunities. That isn't really happening at the moment with the Manx Grand Prix, and I think it is an area that we need to be able to build upon.
Okay, the consultation, at the end of the day, the people who are going to write to you and input into this are going to be the die-hard fans, no doubt, overall. I mean, besides obviously companies, but people, Joe Public, who get in touch with you, if they're interested, they're interested. If they're not probably going to bother with this consultation. So have you not just found out you've got the answers you were expecting anyway?
Well, no, because I think we've spoken to a lot of people with regards to the commercial aspects of what they want to see. The Steam Packet Company, Duke Video and Duke Marketing rather, the Steam Packet Company, Manx Radio, other people who've got an affinity, the Chamber of Commerce, to get views as to how can we make this a more attractive event, not just to the fans who, as you say, are likely to be giving us a very positive view because they're coming anyway and they like it, but we've had in the responses to the questionnaires, I think, a very good response, and the focus groups have been very interesting. There's been some good debate going on, and I'm also aware that the Steam Packet Company have done previous research themselves into the future of the Grand Prix and from their own marketing perspective. And I think the good news is that our findings appear to tie in quite significantly with their findings. So I think we've now got a real basis to move forward on, and we've got some data that we can use to underpin the decisions that we're going to have to make going forwards.
No one likes change. I'm sure, I can imagine behind the scenes here there's a lot going on that we don't even see because it's been run in a fairly similar manner for a long time. You're coming along here saying, no, this isn't going to have to change. We'll put it out to consultation. But in fact, possibly you know what you're going to do with it anyway. Would that be fair to say that?
No, I don't think it is, Paul, actually. I think we've been very clear throughout the process that we would be guided by the outputs of the consultation process. I think the good thing is everybody has regarded the consultation process as being as fair and as transparent as is possible, given, and I accept the fact, that a lot of people who have taken part in it will be people who've got a natural tendency to have an interest in the event. So we have to factor that in. But we are going to be guided by the outputs of the consultation. I don't think there's anything in it that's come as a huge shock. So now that we need to move on to the next stage, there shouldn't be any shocks in what we now propose, because people will be able to see the research and understand what it is that people want to see from this event.